Good morning. Good to be here with you this great and beautiful Tuesday morning. It's the bumper breakfast and big apology. We're starting extremely, very late this morning. I was stuck on the road and I sincerely apologize for that. How are you guys doing? It's the first day of the month of March, and of course, it's a day that everybody is ready to hit the ground running. It looks as if everything will be happening in the next couple of days, but of course, Ukraine is still the matter on everybody's heart, coupled with the electoral amendment bill that has been signed, and then we're talking elections. So right here in Nigeria, we have great issues that we need to discuss. My name is Tomisi, and on the bumper breakfast this morning with me is Olayinka Ola Daniels. Please do join us as we welcome him to the show this morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you doing today? I had to delay you and keep you waiting for quite a while, so my people need to apologize with me as well for that. But I want to begin this morning because we've been talking Ukraine for quite a while. And when we discuss Ukraine, I expect that the banner headline of almost every newspaper would have something that has to do with Ukraine as it concerns Nigeria. The Nigerian Tribune has the banner headline as to strike. Education Minister walks out on students. NANS protests nationwide. Locks down federal secretariat. Gives the federal government 24 hours to end the strike. Russia, Ukraine war, evacuation of stranded Nigerians begins tomorrow. Nigerian embassy received 204 in Bucharest. That's coming from the federal government. Parents of Nigerian students in Ukraine protest at the Russian embassy. The Russian embassy and Russia faces financial meltdown as sanctions hit its economy. Still talking about Ukraine, Russia, fuel scarcity worsens. Petrol sells for between 185 and 300 naira per litre nationwide. Apparently, vessels are also stuck on the sea based on the Russia war. And you have the NNPC gives the OIC's conditions for divestments from Nigeria. Still more stories. Let me take a look at electricity. Governor's move against centralized electricity reform bill as government shoot first-class Ekiti monarch in attempt kidnap. Constitution amendment. Independent candidate must obtain 20% signatures of registered voters nationwide. Governor's deputy to lose seat for cross carpeting. What do you think? Let's begin with politics. Governors are apparently going to lose, and the deputy are going to lose their seat for cross carpeting henceforth.
Well, for me, it's a good one. It's a good development because you don't become a governor under a political party or deputy, and the next thing you feel, okay, you can just wake up, okay, the party, you are not comfortable with the party again, and you want to leave. Yes, it's your right to leave. Yeah, it's your right. No one is denying that, and no one can take that from you. It's your right to leave. But you will not leave with a baggage that brought you in. You will leave that and you will go to another party. Meaning, you leave the governorship office, leave the deputy governor, then go to another party. And I mean, if they want you to become their governor, go through the normal process. You contest under their own political party. If you're given the ticket, and if they are able to vote for you to become the governor under that political party, it's fine. We are not saying it's not your right. It is. It's clear. We can freedom of association and all that, but you cannot become a governor or a deputy or a president under a political party. Then the next thing, you're now leaving that political party to go to another political party with that same office that party gave to you. The party gave you the platform. Party A gave you a platform to become a governor. Then you are leaving party A to party B. Then you're right being a governor, still retaining that office. You forfeited it. By making a choice of going to party B. It's just fair. Some of us had said this, we've been tussle, court, whatever. They will say, no, the constitution did not, there's nowhere is written that that should be done. So nobody has been able to succeed. Nobody has gone to court to win such. Because by the time you get to court, by the time they're interpreting the constitution, by the time they're interpreting the Electoral Act, there's nothing like that says otherwise. So you see people every time, year in, year out, they're cross-carpeting, they're leaving the one party to the other, and still retaining the office that the party has given them.
So basically stealing the mandate of one party and giving it to the other one.
It's not fair.
So stealing by trick.
It's not fair.
And it looks as if one of the places where our political parties begin their recruitment of members is at that level. So maybe that would also stop them.
Maybe at that time, it will even get us serious. To get the so-called politics we play here, probably we'll sit up and say, come, if you've chosen to be at this party, irrespective of the issues at that party. And also, I think there's another amendment that I'm looking forward to that says that because the Constitution has given them the power to say, okay, because the provisions, that's the exception the Constitution gave them, is to say, if there are troubles, if there are this disagreement, if there's chaos in the party, if the party is not stable, if the party, if whatever that has happened, you are free to leave the party. I think we need to also look at that particular
clause
provisions, of the law, because a lot of them capitalize on that provision. And that's why they say, okay, yeah, well, my party is in disarray, my party is not together, and well, I have every right to leave. Yes, you have every right to leave. No one has said that you don't have, whether your party is in disarray or not, whether even if your party is, you have every right to choose to leave the party to go to another political party, or not to even be a partisan politicians anymore. Is your right. But what we are saying is there's a mandate this political party gave you. Is not we are not there, and I don't think the constitution has been amended to include independent candidate. So you still have to go through a political party.
So now independent candidacy is now there, but they must obtain 20% signatures.
Yeah, that is what it's saying. And now, can they? Is it
of registered
voters? The politics we play in this part of the world, in this country, is it visible? Probably, maybe we may give it a try. I don't believe that anything is not. I believe anything is possible if we put our heart to it. If we choose to do it, why not? It's talking about 20%. For instance, 2015 and 2019. If you look at the voters, we're talking about a country of over 200 million. And as at the last time, the entire vote counted, everybody
across the
nation was not even 30 million. Was not even 30 million out of
200 million.
200 million.
Well, let's even say of eligible voters.
Eligible, okay. Let's put
maybe about 60 million.
Even more. No, you can't put it because we are even saying youth 70 million. So you can't say eligible voters of 60 million. So we will still give it to less than 120
youths.
Let's say 120 eligible voters. Let's say 120. Okay, because the question. Let's even look at the registered voters. Let's look at it, because I think the registered voters from that calculation probably about 50 thereabout. I don't have the statistics in my fingers now, but let's even assume that maybe 50 million
registered voters,
and
we have just 30.
And we have 30 that voted, and if you have that number, then let's now go to the independent one, and it's saying that 20% of voters. Now, and let's look at the youth. We're talking about 70% of them, and let's even say we have 50% of them that chose to say, okay, this is the candidate. that we want. This person has come out to say he wants to, go on the election, and we have, okay, let all of us come out and vote for this person. So you think it's not achievable? For me, it is. But then, don't forget, these same youths are the people these politicians also still use. So no, this will not work to destabilize, to steal ballot. Or will you see a 70-year-old man or 80-year-old man stealing ballot boxes?
Of course not. Having the agility,
or cutting, fighting and all that. So it's still us.
Having the agility to steal and run as quickly as possible.
So we are still the one, or the ones that are shooting themselves. Do you see all those 70 people? Even 60-something people killing themselves? No, it's still the youth. We are still the same people these people use.
The tools
they still use. So now, if by the time we're looking at it from that angle, then the question is, can we really have that? And also, do we have that willpower as a people? Are we ready? For me, yes, it's a new development. We should embrace it. It's good, but then it may not be this year. And I've been telling some people that say, no, you may not have it in 2023. Does not mean that you cannot have it if you put motion in place. If you put motion, even if it's not 2007, if not 2027, it could be 2031. If you set motion in place and you are focused, you know where you are going, and you take your time. Maybe slow, but surely you will get there. But then, for you to go that route, there's something we call the willpower to do that. Meaning that you are ready. You have a target. You are ready. I am going somewhere. I know that route, maybe we'll go through desert. We will not see water at some point. Maybe at some point we will get water. At some point there will not be food. At some point there will be food. But if we are consistent, if we are persistent, if we know what we see it and we are looking at it and we are taking all efforts
to get there.
Because we'll be discouraged on that route. Yes, a lot of things will happen on that route. In fact, some may even fall on that route because probably, some maybe they can't stand it. There's no water, the pressure, the food, and all that on the road, and some may. But you will surely get there. Looking, at the story of the children of Israel, some died in the wilderness. But what happened? They go to the Canaan land. Some didn't see it, but they started with them. But they eventually got there. So for me, if we have that willpower, if we are focused and we follow those principles of consistencies and all that, we will get there. It may take time, but we will get there. But saying that is not possible, I do not agree. That's my take.
Another part of the papers this morning is a story that actually cuts across again from the Nigerian Tribune. If you move to the Punch newspaper and you look at just above the nameplate, you'll find Minister walks out on students protesting ASUU strike. Meanwhile, it is the banner headline of the Nigerian Tribune this morning. Simply says, ASUU strike. Education Minister walks out on students as NANS protests nationwide and locks down the Federal Secretariat. Now you still have the banner headline also of the Punch newspaper talking Ukraine-Russia war. Federal government to airlift 2,000 Nigerians. Evacuation begins on Wednesday. Buhari approves funding as federal government tips Air Peace and Max Air 4 or 5 aeroplanes, to evacuate Nigerian refugees. That's coming from the federal government. Now,
Sorry, if you want us to quickly look at the ministers of education.
Exactly, that's where we're going next, because ASUU strike, we've heard about it. They started a warning strike, and NANS made a bold to say that sort your problem, but do not destroy our lives.
Very well.
Sort your problem, do not go on the strike. And they gave them a target of by March 1st. Get your act together. Whatever it is, reach an agreement and definitely get this thing sorted. But as the strike continues, the education minister had to walk out on the protesting students. But they have promised that the Federal Secretariat, the Federal Highways, are going to block everything today until the federal government and ASUU gets their act together. How long will we continue like this?
This this particular story, it's amazing, and it's a mixed feeling, and I'll break it down. One, what ASU is doing, a number of people they've asked, they said, is there no other way that ASU can achieve
What they want?
what they want, as against using the same tools all the time, strike, and all that? And a number of people are also of the opinion that what have they achieved with all these strikes?
That is done so far.
That is done so far. And I beg to disagree. And I remember on the platform, I said that this same ASU have used this same strike to achieve lots in Nigerian education today. What some of these people, even the PTF we're talking about, that some of these students are enjoying. Some of the things, all the trust funds and all that they were doing in the federal government took up to do in so many schools across the nation, was as a result of ASU's protest, ASU's demands. So they are students are benefiting from that. And what is ASU asking for? We can all say it. Is on white and black thing. So what they are asking for is to benefit students majorly. Yes, you may say their own is part of it, but look at the state of education in this country. Zero. Check the budget. How many percentage to education? So more like to us here, we're not saying education is, for me, education is expensive. I tell people that they care to listen. But then, if we have a country, but if we're saying education is expensive, maybe at a particular level. But there are some levels that no, at least let these people enjoy this, even when it's expensive. And I at some point, I think even on this platform, I raised the issue of how much was given to a school and the entire university. And you want them to, you want the department, the research department to come out with something tangible, when even the money given to the entire school cannot solve anything, cannot even do any research, cannot go through any research in that one department. So now these are the things ASU is asking for. The terrible state of education in the country. Yes, that is 1. 2. Number 3, ASU will collect their salary after, if they go on strike for 1 year, they will be paid. Because by the time federal government says, oh, no work, no pay, they will fight, they will go to court, and they will say, pay them.
In fact, they will even down more tools.
All these government officials, we get paid. But some people will suffer.
The students.
Now, you're talking about a month. In fact, the last time I remember the University of Lagos, the student there, they're supposed to start their exam, maybe if not for NUGA that they're having now, their exam should have started February. Now, because of NUGA, probably they're supposed to start in March. Now, they strike.
They strike.
I'm sure, I don't know about other universities, maybe other institutions like that, probably going through the same. Now, these students, some of them are scattered everywhere, involving all sorts. In fact, as immediately the strike started, some of them even probably forgot where the books were. Now, you are a minister of education, because I still want to ask the criteria in which some of this, because you see, don't just choose your ministers, don't choose all those people based on geopolitical zone alone or political parties, blah blah blah, and all that. Because when these people go before the National Assembly for confirmation, and National Assembly asks them a series of questions, what are they looking for? Because if you are a leader, is a father, not so.
Sure.
Before becoming a minister, you're a father. Now, if you're home and there's a revolt from your children, so how do you manage it?
He is actually an accountant and a journalist.
Very well. I remember vividly.
But he's the Minister of Education.
When we were in university, at some point, we had some demand. There was, in those days, there's no light in our house, but when we are in school, we expect 24/7 lights, in school. Meanwhile, at home, there's no light. But, that's part of students overbearing. And I remember vividly, there was no light, and exam was coming close, and we couldn't read. Students, some could not cook, and all those things. And the VC was probably promising. I remember that day. We went to the Senate building. We brought down the VC. We took him to that we call it New Hall, to where the transformer was. This light, you must fix it today. You've been promising us, no more. In fact, at some point, some student even removed his cap, used the cap to beat, all the students,
movements and student union.
The student union thing and all that. The truth is, the light was fixed because it was there. All the engineers came and the light was fixed.
Basically, they came to bail him out.
When the light was fixed, he was supposed to enter his car. Because when we brought him the car, the driver drove the car behind him, couldn't enter. So he was supposed to enter his car. The student refused. They started eating the car. Then they started singing ole ole, all those things. But by the time we went back to the Senate, we took him back to the Senate for him to go back to his office. Right there, this man still stood there
And addressed
the student, apologized to us. Right there, the students started singing praises of the same man. Those are leaders.
Now,
those are people. You are a leader, you are a minister. Yes, the student will be student, the student will be student. They will abuse you, they will say all sorts, they will be angry, they will shout and all that. But
it isn't just
what it takes to manage them.
Because it isn't just a student or a minister of education or a journalist and an accountant. He is a polyglot as well. He speaks about 4 or 5 languages. He speaks French, he speaks Persian, he speaks English, he speaks Hausa, he speaks Arabic. So he is well read, basically. Well. And for him to work out on the students, at that particular point in time, because they had a meeting with the president of NANS, Sunday Ashafon, demanded an immediate end to the strike while the negotiations continue. And he also called for inclusion of students in the negotiation process, threatening that students may ground activities nationwide as done during the #EndSARS protest. The visibly angry minister said he was disappointed with the NANS leadership, adding that the government had done what was expected of it since the commencement of the strike. My question is, we have Nigerian students stuck in Ukraine right now. We're talking about this. Isn't this supposed to be a time where we should fix our own educational system? Simply because we know that one of the ways, one of the funnels through which funds are siphoned and are empowered, other countries around us are empowered across the world, is education. Education tourism. We go everywhere to go to school. We go to Russia, we go to Ukraine, we go to Germany, we go to the US, and every single day, students, parents are buying forms for TOEFL, IELTS, GRE, GMAT for their kids so that they all can travel abroad. Yet, the ones that are left at home, why won't there be unemployment? When they spend half of the years they spend in school on strike, and then the other half they spend it just managing to pass, let my people go.
See, not just unemployment now. When you have a system like this, unstable educational system, tell me how you will get the best out of the student. Where a system where a student studying computer science does not have access to computers.
Except his parents have the wherewithal to buy for him.
A system where a student is studying medical science or medicine or something, or health something, and he does not have access to those
the laboratory.
No. Parents will send their kids abroad. where they have all those things. That is why you see them that, oh, by the time they go there, they have all the facilities, they have all the necessary equipment they are supposed to use, practicals. So they have it. So they are better than you now hear that we are half-baked. And they are fully baked. Then when these people come back, then what you see next is you that want to employ them, you'll be looking for those certificates abroad, at school abroad, as against the one that school in your own local environment. Why?
Yeah.
Because of things like this. When you're supposed to spend 4 years in school and you're spending 6 years, meanwhile your contemporaries are somewhere in Ukraine studying that same course for 3 years. With full, access to all that they needed to have equipment. So why won't parents send their children out to those schools? Even these so-called ministers, these so-called leaders, most of their children are abroad. Maybe a few are here. Most of them.
What about the ASU chairman themselves?
They send their children abroad because they know
the lecturers.
They know about the system here. And they know that they can't get the best for their children. So they would rather, maybe they have neighbors or family members that have sent their own, and what you are struggling to do under 6 years, under 3 years, they are done. Probably some of them they've had 2-3 degrees, while you are struggling with one. Why? Because of ASU strike, because of dilapidated facilities, no structures, nothing. So do you blame them? I'm sure you heard about numbers in Ukraine, the number of our students in Ukraine, and you heard about numbers also that are saying they are not coming home, that they will probably stay in neighboring countries,
Romania, Poland,
somewhere there till the war is over,
and then they go back to school.
It's sad
because they know that the speed with which the Ukrainian government is going to fix most of this infrastructure that is being destroyed is going to be fast.
Of course,
and education over there is actually cheap. It's cheap. The Nigerian government is also one of the sponsors of some of these students. Some of them are actually there on scholarship. So I know quite a number of students who went to Russia, who schooled in Russia, on the bill of the federal government. A couple of years ago, graduated in various fields. But you see the interesting part, none of them came back to this country.
No, they won't.
To say they want to come and work, even though they were paid, given allowances by the federal government to go to school. They secure the admission for them, send them there, put them visa, bring them home, and take them back during holidays.
Yes.
But they're not willing to come back. So please, why would these ones to be want to?
Why would they want to come back when there is no system to absorb them? When there is no system they are falling into? Okay, that means you've gone all. Okay, I was listening to a testimony of a young lady, a medical doctor that. Well, he came in, was supposed to work in Lagos, he was somewhere, he was working, they bring in politics, came in, and she was a doctor that was looking for a job and she couldn't get a job. In fact, there was one was supposed to get to one at the final stage, probably was dropped off. She said she had to go back to Delta State, to her state. Now she's working there. She had to go back to her state to work in her state. Because now, these people, they see all these things. I know loads of doctors, I know loads of friends. I have friends that are doctors that have left. Some of them were consultants here in Nigeria.
You know, my doctor particularly said to me one day, he said when he went to the UK to a couple of years ago, over almost 18 to 20 years now. He said he went to the UK with his wife. His wife was also a doctor. Both of them went to the UK, and at that point, he was the senior. She was just finishing school. And he said he stayed there because they did the relocation plan. It wasn't a relocation. It was just, let's get visa, let's go. And then he started applying when he got there. He said for the 6 months he stayed there, it was the most miserable time for him because he didn't get a job at the level that it was in Nigeria. He didn't get the job. He said so one day He told his wife, he said, I still have a return visa to Nigeria and my salary is still running. Me, I am going back home. You, stay here. Keep pursuing, maybe you will get. But me, he left the wife and came back to Nigeria, resumed back to his government work and continued. The wife just spent another maybe 2 months. And then she came back. And then when we were having this conversation, he said he knows quite a number of doctors who were brilliant doctors, earning well here, but relocated to the UK, the US, and all that, and they did not get the kind of employment they were looking for, and began to do all sorts of odd jobs. And because they are making this money from the odd jobs, majority of them just leave it, by the side. A lot of people are that desperate to travel for greener pasture, basically. They do not care what they end up doing when they get there, because they just know that being a cleaner DSF is more lucrative than, being a medical doctor right here in Nigeria. When are we going to fix this? Would you not have the money? In the news this morning again, one interesting story I saw that caught my attention. My director can put up that Punch newspaper again. Just above the nameplate again, the picture story, the one you're looking at on your right hand side, talks about Niyi Adebayo, Otunba Niyi Adebayo, and Minister for Investments, and it's talking about Nigeria's 999.38 billion naira imports from Russia at risk over the war. What do we import from Russia? You'll be shocked. Our seas have fish. We are importing mackerel. So let me give you the breakdown. So in Q3 of 2020, durum wheat worth about 46.56 billion naira was imported. Mackerel worth about 13.76 billion naira. Sardine was imported. Blue whitings worth about 1.57 billion naira was imported from Russia. In Q4 2020, the same things. Durum wheat, 62.9 billion naira, increased this time. Mackerel, 2.27 billion naira. Herrings, worth another 6.59 billion naira was imported. Nigeria also imported 4.82 billion naira medicines, vaccines for human medicine from Russia. All in Q4 2020, after the lockdown, when we had gone back to work. So Nigeria imported about blue whitings, we import mackerel. Russia was not mentioned among Nigeria's top wheat providers for the quarter 2 of 2021. But whether we like it or not, it's part of the food that we consume. We import from Russia. I'm quite glad that it's fish we're importing the most from Russia. As in fish. For a country that is surrounded by water, that has access to water, we are importing mackerel, blue whitings, herrings from Russia. And now that is going to be disrupted. Isn't that supposed to be good news?
I do not know whether...
Because the people selling it will not call it good news.
I do not know whether I should call it good news or I should call it bad news. But for people that have invested, for people, that are putting money, of course it's bad news for them if they can't get those things, or if they, because if sanction goes in and then those things can't come in, well, it's sad. But the good news, maybe we need to sit down as a people. And I've said this severally, particularly to Lagos State. That part, I'm not going to agree with anyone that this can't be fixed. I've said that the first layer of our sea. What is wrong with federal government and Lagos State collaborating? I have said that the first layer will service our budget. In fact, what am I saying? Not that will service. Part of the proceeds will service because it's huge.
We have
No, that's first layer. We're not talking about second layer. We have so much resources. But do we have managers? No. We have so much resources.
Maybe they look at only the ones that are obvious. Anything that is not above the line.
You see, when you talk about, you people talk about Yahoo boys, you talk about rituals, we talk about everybody, including your federal government, is looking for fast money. Your state government, everybody is looking for fast money. What they can lay their hands on immediately.
Sharp.
Nobody wants to invest. Nobody wants to work. Nobody is patient. That's why you see all of them. That's why you see even some of our youth, they fall into different frauds because why? It's so easy. They okay, bring in 1,000, you get 10,000 by the end of the week. So it's not just, you see, when we say that among us, our leaders are chosen, we know what we are saying. Whatever you see out there
is a reflection of what we have on here.
Who we are.
So when you point one finger, four is pointing back.
So when you look at those ritualists, when you look at those Yahoo boys, when you look at it's the same thing with our leaders, with the country as a whole. Because we have so much, but what do we make out of it? We are not ready. We don't have refineries to refine our own oil, and we have the oil. So we take it out for people to refine for us, and we still bring it back here. Tell me, is there any state in this country that does not have one thing or the other? But no, is to tax everybody. In fact, the way Lagos State is looking for money now, and in fact, it tax all the taxable. Whatever it can get through tax, the properties, the lands, and all that, to them, they tell us that is where they have. So that is where they make the money from. And I'm saying that is not true. You have resources.
Much more that can be spent and taken over.
So much resources that you will even ease that tension. I mean, this. What is it called now?
The pressure that we.
The pressure that you put on your people. There are a number of people that want to start small business. You don't even know whether they have office. You don't even know whether they make ~1 You don't even know how they're struggling with that small business. But you build them so much. This one will come and ask for money. That one, all of them from the same state. That one, federal government will ask for his own. Then everybody is asked for free money from these people that have not even made cover on their own business. And you're telling us you're not putting pressure on these people? Looking for free money?
What exactly is...
What are you doing to generate money on your own as a state or as a federation?
What about the value chain that can be created by just exploring one of these things? For example, I'm just looking at the idea of having a canned fish factory. Where we can have a canned fish factory. I mean, Nigerians just love things that are opened in tins. For whatever reason, because it comes from the abroad. We buy it. Even person we don't get money, they buy it. So if all we need to do, look at the value chain. Somebody will be producing the can. Some people will be the ones preserving the fish. Some fishermen will be employed and they will be getting massive, resources from there. There is still going to be the storage of the fish so much down the line. And some people will be selling it. It will be Nigerian-made canned fish and we will be willing to buy. But unfortunately, nobody's looking at that. Yet we complain about unemployment.
Look,
what's the way forward?
When you see, because what we do as a country, we give employment to the so-called developed countries.
We give them our money, we give them employment.
Because the oil you take out to them to refine, are they not the one doing the work? Are they Nigerians?
No.
Oh. The whatever they came to pick here, the pan kernel, whatever, the cocoa and all that, you give them employment, you give them all that, and they bring out. All we just do is, why we give them employment, then we still give them our money, because when they find, we still have to buy the Milo, the Bonvita, we still have to buy those beverages from them, and to us, why? Because we do not, nobody cares to say, okay, can't we just look inward? I remember when former President Obasanjo he came in there and he started promoting the Nigerian fabrics, the Ankaras and all that. I mean, I remember vividly. So what has happened? Where are the textile, factories? Where are they today? Everybody are relocated. Why? Because there's no convenience system for them to even operate. Why? Because no light. Now all of them have to be on diesel, and they have to buy that. To meanwhile, you come and slam them with all sort of bills to pay. Then the corruption, also bribery and whatever. So they will look for an enabling environment. So do we have an enabling environment for these people to operate here? We do not have that, and that is why it's sad. The other time I went to Ondo, I went to Delta, and I saw robbers everywhere. I saw fighters everywhere. And you're telling me that we don't have resources? Wasting. Nobody's doing anything about it.
We need to go. I need to say thank you to Olayinka Daniels this morning. Nigeria is a project that we will keep talking about, hoping fully that we will one day get someone to focus, because I just wonder if one governor focuses on rubber, the next focuses on ceramic, the next focuses one resource at a time. Nigeria will be one of the richest countries.
All of them are looking for oil money. They go to the federal central to beg Mr. President for money. That's why Mr. President become gods over them, because they know that they have to make money from
oil money. Oil money has corrupted everybody. Oil money. Thank you so much for being here this morning.
Thank you for having me.
We'll take a break now. When we return, we're talking about caring for the eyes. It's Glaucoma Awareness Month. We'll be back.
Little blackbird, are you listening? Little blackbird, are you listening? I'll tell you a story of a little girl who had to grow up now. I know you put yourself in that same headspace. Insults got that crown weighing heavy on your head. You define beauty, you're a perfect creation. Love, all your skies, blackbird. You will fly. Little blackbird, are you listening? Little blackbird, are you
Welcome back to the Bumper Breakfast. We're back here with Dr. Priscilla Imade, and we're talking about caring for the eyes. It's Glaucoma Awareness Month. How do people get glaucoma? What do you need to watch out for? Those are some of the issues we'll be discussing this morning. Good morning, ma'am. How are you doing
Thank
today?
you.
I know you had quite an experience with the traffic this morning.
Oh,
You know, I actually thought it was fuel scarcity or the fuel queues. I got there and there was no queue. It's not the queue. We don't know what it
well,
is.
from my end, it was the fuel queue that actually.
Oh, from your own end.
Yes.
I don't know what caused it on my own end.
So
I just know everywhere was blocked.
It was really horrible.
Oh,
Well, thank God we are here.
we're here.
And happy new month.
Happy New Month to you too. Happy New Month.
Thank you.
Yes, we're talking about glaucoma, and quite a number of people do not know what that is.
Yes.
What is glaucoma?
Yeah, this month of March, worldwide, internationally, and locally, it's Glaucoma Awareness Creation Month. Glaucoma is the second leading cause of blindness worldwide. The first eye problem that causes blindness is cataract.
Okay.
Then after cataract, we have glaucoma. But blindness from glaucoma is not reversible. And the danger in glaucoma is that many people will not know that they have glaucoma. because the type of glaucoma that we have here in this part of the world is the one we call the primary angle open glaucoma, which does not give symptom. So you find some people, you know, hitherto maybe seeing very well all through the month. Maybe by the end of the month, they just notice that their vision reduces. And some of them, by the time they sleep, they wake up, they can't see again. They would not say it's one witch or one wizard. But meanwhile, glaucoma has been there. They did not know. So this month, we are trying to sensitize people, create the awareness that glaucoma is very, very common, especially in this part of the world, that we need to watch out for it. Now, glaucoma has been found to be predominantly common among black-skinned people. So those are some of the risk factors. If you are black-skinned, you are at a higher risk of developing glaucoma compared to somebody who is of another race. Yes.
And then if you mean race now, or you mean black?
As in race, black
race.
Yes,
So
exactly.
don't say because you are black skin, you want to go and become yellow, that it will change.
Even if you become yellow, you are still black.
We
are
mean
talking about
race.
Yes, exactly.
Us, we.
Yes, we. That's what we mean. So the black race is more predisposed. And then there is also a family history. If maybe your grandparents had glaucoma, even if they did not know, it can be transmitted, you know, down the family line to other people in the family. And the worst aspect of glaucoma is that it just sneaks in. We call it the sneak thief of sight, because many people do not readily know that there is glaucoma. Now, glaucoma comes in such a way that you are seeing your vision is being affected from the periphery. That means when glaucoma wants to cause blindness, it will start eating up your field of vision from the sides. Now, the way we see is such that, you know, it's, let's call it like a 360 round ball.
Okay.
So if somebody has glaucoma, there is gradually peripheral loss of vision. So when the person looks straight with the central vision, the person is still seeing. And the person feels, oh, my vision is okay. And even if the person cannot see things by the side, he can just move the head or turn the head, and the person is able to see. But unknown to the person, there are already structural damages going on in the eye. And then the person may just sleep and wake up one day. This small portion that maybe he or she has been using to see what is far can just close up. And the person wakes up and say, oh, I can no longer see again. So it becomes very, very severe and debilitating. Now, the other aspect of this glaucoma that is still a bit, you know, painful to me is that up till now, there is no treatment, there is no cure yet for glaucoma. If somebody has cataract, for example, you could come into the clinic and then surgery can be done and the person will be able to see again, because blindness from cataract can be reversed. But when there is glaucoma, there is no cure yet for glaucoma. So people who have
glaucoma, how do they manage it?
That is the thing. What we are saying, what we are advocating, why we are creating this awareness is that you may not know if you have glaucoma. Go and check to be sure that it is not there. Because if it is there, there is little or nothing anybody can do, especially when you present to the clinic at the late stage. And most times, that is where we find people coming in.
So basically, it can be managed.
It can be managed. What we have here now is management. We treat, we manage, but there is no cure. And the treatment and management is efficacious when you come early to the clinic. So early detection of glaucoma gives you a better prognosis. But when you don't come early, and that's where we find most classes of people, they don't come early to the clinic, they come at the late stage. And at that point, it really becomes difficult to manage. Let me also say that most time when somebody has glaucoma, the end product of glaucoma is always blindness, no matter what you do. But that blindness from glaucoma, if you come early to the clinic, it can actually be shifted such that you can still live your lifetime without having that blindness. Let's say glaucoma is going to happen maybe when you are age 70 and you had the glaucoma maybe at age 50. Because you came on time to the clinic, it can be better managed that such blindness can even be, you know, technically pushed to maybe when you are 90 or 100. And who knows, maybe the person may not even live up to that.
And a young
100.
person have glaucoma?
There are different types of glaucoma. Glaucoma can affect any and everybody. We have what we call infantile glaucoma. That means some children can even be born with glaucoma. You know, in my early years of practice of optometry, I didn't really to find so many people, especially children, having glaucoma. Because one of the predisposing factors for glaucoma is high intraocular pressure. That means high pressure in the eye. In the eye, we have a way that we measure pressure, just like you measure your BP. You can put your sphic around your hand and check and say, okay, my BP is 120/80. The same thing with glaucoma. There's a type of pressure in the eye that we must check. So for some people, when that pressure is high, they could have glaucoma. Also, studies have shown that when the pressure is also low, you can have glaucoma. And even now, when it is normal, you can have glaucoma. So for children, when I was growing up as a young optometrist, we didn't really find children having high pressures in their eyes. But these days, it's like the whole thing has increased. Where adults are having high intraocular pressures, these days too, children too are also having.
What do you think is responsible?
So researches are ongoing. Some have implicated our diet, our lifestyle, the kind of activities children are exposed to now could be some of the reasons why, you know, some of these eye problems are on the increase. Also, mind you, people who are short-sighted are also more predisposed to glaucoma, developing glaucoma, compared to maybe people who are hyperopic or even astigmatic. So that's why we are telling the whole world now, please, Nigerians, make sure you go in for a comprehensive eye examination, because you cannot detect glaucoma on your own at home. Glaucoma does not ring a bell, and there's no way you can look into somebody's eyes and say you have glaucoma. People who have glaucoma, their eyes look normal. They don't even have complaints. In fact, it is the people that don't have complaints, that don't have symptoms, that end up even having that glaucoma. So what we are saying is that you have to walk into an eye clinic to have a comprehensive eye examination for it to be detected. There is no way you can sit down in your home or even meet somebody who is not specialized in eye care, and then the person is able to detect that you have glaucoma. No. See, if you have a cut on your hand, you can see it and know whether it's progressing, it's healing, or it's not. But when it comes to glaucoma and when it comes to eye care, you can't. You just have to go to the clinic for an eye examination. So as you begin this month, please, let's screen for glaucoma. There's what we call glaucoma screening. Just like you have cancer screening, you screen for glaucoma. I just want to check, do I have glaucoma? Are there symptoms? Are there signs? What do I watch out for? And if they are there, how do I manage it so that it does not result in blindness? That is the aim of what you're doing this month. Yes, for this month.
Wow. We've been talking to Dr. Priscilla Imade, and quite a number of people are asking the question, who do I talk to? How do I know? How do I visit? How do people reach you if they have questions?
Okay, they can call me on my number if they have questions, or send me WhatsApp message on my number 08033 33 6672.
080 33 again
66 72.
72.
You can ask me questions, send me messages, and please, this month of March, make sure you are doing a comprehensive eye examination. Screen for glaucoma.
Screen for glaucoma if you want your eyes, if you want to save your eyes, you don't want to go blind later in life. You want to know exactly what is happening. I know Nigerians are usually scared of what is happening in their bodies. Nobody wants to find out. God forbid that something happens to you and then they begin to prod you and pinch you on every side. Meanwhile, if you had screened earlier, that wouldn't happen. Exactly. So you can definitely just send your questions about your eye issues. You want to visit the hospital, just call Dr. Imade on 080 33 6672, and you will definitely get answers to some of these questions. You can take the number down. I would also be giving out the number tomorrow. It's the entire month and it's Glaucoma Awareness Month, so we need to do the best that we can to make sure that we achieve the best as well. I'm trying to see if I can take at least one or two questions this morning so that we can round up with that. Okay, this person just wants to know the symptoms of glaucoma.
Okay, thank you. glaucoma actually does not have symptoms, especially at the early stages. Glaucoma will only show you symptoms or present symptoms when it's at the end stage. If you start noticing any symptom about glaucoma, it means the eye don't go. So please, we don't want to wait
Whether
for
eye
symptoms.
they pain you or eye no they pain
Yes, go and
you.
screen for glaucoma.
Go and screen for glaucoma.
Yes.
Okay, I'll take one call before we go. Hello, good morning. Good morning. Hello, good morning. All right, please direct all of your calls and all that to 080-3333-6672 and ask all your questions from there. That's 080-3333-6672. I'll take that again, 080-3333-6672. Direct all your questions to that number, and then we would definitely have answers for you, and you can get to do your screening as well. Thank you so much, Dr.
Yes,
Imadi,
thank
for being
you.
here with us this
Thank
morning
you
on the
very
Bumper
much. It's my
Breakfast.
pleasure.
We'll see you again tomorrow, bright and early, on the Bumper Breakfast. To have a lovely day. My name is Tomisi. Bye-bye.